Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of Nicola Jane Bulley, a 45-year-old mother who was reported missing on the 27th of January at 9:15. She was last seen at 9:15 near the river Towpath. We're all, most of us, especially in this channel, are aware of how things escalated, all the timelines that have been changed, all the lies that have been added into this heartbreaking missing report of Nicola Jane Bulley. When Nicola Bulley is body or human remains, may she rest in peace, condolence to her family, was found in the River Wire near Rockcliffe Road, speculations and everything started going around. And obviously, because nobody believed Nicola could be missing from the river, that Nicola could be in the river. Nobody believed that at all, not even her partner Paul, for whatever reason. He doesn't believe that. We don't know. Today I would like to talk about Nicola Bulley's case, may she rest in peace, in the mental health form. Like all the challenges it can bring and all the tools it can take on Nicola's family. And even if on a partner, Paul, if he is innocent, whichever one has their own beliefs too. What I find shocking and really disturbing, and that I thought I would never see, is we all were shocked to see Nicola Bulley, his body or human remains, being recorded. Like I said, it was a shock to see Nicola Bulley's remains being recorded of Curtis media. At the same time, he was going and traumatizing the neighbors. Like they say, nobody is guilty until proven guilty. That we always have to remember. We, the public, can't be the judge, jury, and the law, basically. We can't take law into our own hands, so we can sit and assume who could be guilty and who isn't, but that doesn't necessarily mean we are the detectives or we have the skills in this case. But there's something called human respect, human decency. It is something that we are not born with, it's something that we grow up with. Usually our parents, our teachers, our older siblings, friends, we learn through life experience. But it's usually our parents who teach us from the start. So if we as a human being don't understand that certain things is beyond our boundaries, then that is a sad thing. That's a shame. Because we don't need to be told by law enforcement, like 5-year-old kids or teenagers, that we're not allowed to do this or not allowed to do that. Especially, we don't need to be told by law enforcement or by a therapist or by a friend or by a family or by a spouse or sibling that it is a no-no to record a dead human being, especially without permission. Professional media know that they can't do that and they have ethical morals. But for Curtis media to be disrespecting Nicola Bulley, his human remains, and recording it when she has two young daughters alive, and we'll have to watch this one day. That just shows you a lot about a person's characters and their personality. William Shakespeare said the famous quote, "Show me a friend and I'll tell you who you are." I've heard people saying, if my friend jumps over the well, I wouldn't jump over the well too. I do understand not everyone's the same, but usually what Shakespeare's trying to say is your friend reflects on you. I believe who I follow and who I subscribe shows a lot about my character. So, Curtis Media is going to keep on disrespecting deceased bodies. He had the audacity, after he terrorized the whole neighborhood, to go back there again after Lancashire police told him, or Blackpool police, that you can come back and take your stuff. They meant just behave yourself. That's what they say in counseling. Mental health counseling, we call it having remorse. If you don't have empathy and if you don't have remorse, then you are just a horrible human being. Because having remorse is knowing that when you're wrong, and if you do not apologize deliberately, then I apologize. I won't say horrible, that's a bit too harsh, but I'll say you're not a nice person, because you can't be always in the right in your life. Curtis Media made it seem like the police were personally after him, but he doesn't sit and do something in counseling that's called self-reflection. You need to go back, sit and think to yourself. If one person is saying this about me, two people are saying this about me, now three people are saying this about me, then there could be something possibly wrong with me and not with them. But when you decide to ignore it, and you decide to ignore other people's pain, especially this one, what Curtis Media is doing, the reason I decided to elaborate more on it today is because I'm heartbroken, I'm shocked, and I think this needs to stop. It's not only about Curtis Media. Let me not lie. Look at Penny Bunny. When she feels like she just comes, spreads gossip and rumors, puts out some fake reports that she got from a nurse in Blackpool. The reason I say it's fake is if something doesn't go to the police and to the law and to the mainstream media, then there has to be something wrong with it. Like the CCTV footage that Gizla cake out, that is fake too. What I found strange with the CCTV footage, the whole of yesterday evening, I believe, last night here, I was sitting and watching through it to find out what could be really wrong besides the false green environment that, what's his name, Paul expects us to believe. Haven't you all noticed that they have 3 bins there and one is missing because it has been there, obviously. Like every place has a different bin day. Some have it on Wednesdays, some have it on Mondays. It's like every borough obviously has a different day of their bin day. So I found that very strange that bin was missing. And my question is, could there have been evidence in that bin? Because see, I know most of my subscribers are from UK too. I do have a lot of subscribers from different parts of the world, especially USA, but I do have from the UK. My UK people will understand me since we live in this country together. I remember there's certain places, like where I live, we have a better system with the bin. But like my mom and her cousin live in a neighborhood that looks kind of like those houses, like those closes. It is a close, in fact. So I know that when they have their bin days, Sometimes it's only once a week. So what my mom, my aunt, my neighbors and all used to do, and they still do, and in fact it's the whole of those areas that do it. They put the bin, the litter box, bucket out in the garden, so that like they have a small little place that they made just to store the bin there, and when they know the bin day is going to happen next day, then they go and put it out in the front, just to keep the street and all looking nicer, because that's what their borough found out is the best way, and it seems to have been working for them for years. So I was wondering if their CCTV footage, if the bin was out in the garden on purpose, maybe because they had something to hide. Just say, like, I'll give you just an example. If somebody trips and falls, and it's a normal accident and there's bleeding and all, you clean the wounds and all, and then you just put it in a plastic bag, wrap it up, and throw it in the bin without thinking anything, because you know you're not guilty. You know you have nothing to hide. An innocent accident happened, and even if the government or the welfare come, you can prove it to them. But when somebody starts hiding things, you can ask. You start wondering why. So I'm wondering, did that bin had material in it that could have had forensic evidence, like blood or anything? Is that why the bin was away? And how long has that bin been away? Because when you look at it, it doesn't make sense why that bin is away. And it was on, if Paul is trying to say it was that from Friday early in the morning. I don't know about my people in UK, please leave me in the comments. The way I know it, I've lived in different places in London. I don't know if it's a London thing, but the council send the bin to work on certain days of the week, and the council sends the bins on a certain time of the day. They start quite early, but they don't start that early. Or maybe it's different in Skip. I wouldn't really know. I need to do more research about that before talking about it, but it is. I know that UK has the same system almost everywhere. We still have the same black bins and putting out the bins before the bin day. So I was wondering what happened that bin had to be taken out. Did something happen in Nicola's house? And I still believe the 10th of the January is a very crucial, important day. I've said that from the very beginning. And I still say everything that happened on the 27th comes from the 10th. I believe whatever ever happened on the 10th, this is for entertainment purpose only. Allegedly, I would say, and I've said that before, it could be very possible that Paul was the one, obviously, who gave the information to Rebecca Smith about Nicola's vulnerabilities. I believe he was making up all those vulnerabilities so that he could make Nicola look like she was unstable from the start. Maybe that's why he started, calling maybe the mental health team, trying to say that she's so, because according to Penny Bunny's fake medical records, if Nicola has symptoms of schizophrenia, there can be delusion, there could be hallucinations. And that you can easily, those symptoms could come from medications too. Let's not forget. It doesn't necessarily mean it comes from a mental health disorder. And the reason I believe that this is a lie, according to my opinion, is because, when somebody's lying, they usually overdo it. Haven't you noticed that? It's like, instead of just saying, like when you want to lie and call your school, just say your child's school and say the child isn't coming in. And your child, thank God the school days are finished. My youngest child is actually 19 now. He still goes to college. But mothers would understand when you have to run around making sure that your child is on time in school. And just say your child has a bit of, it happens to every parent, that your child has a bit of tendency issues for whatever reason. It could be just 1 year in their whole lifetime, and you've been warned about coming late. Then you usually call. Next day you want to call and say your child is not well, or just say whatsoever. What happens? You start exaggerating. You be like, yeah, my child has a flu, and it started off with a stomach ache, and this, and I think I got it off from his sibling, or he got it off from me because I had a virus. And the teacher will be like, or the school will be like, yeah, yeah, thank you for telling us, goodbye. So it's like when you're lying, you start overdoing it. So that is what I believe happened in this whole case. Everything they were trying to tell us even was trying to over convince us that it just did not make sense. The whole whole story looks like this whole case looks like it's far-fetched. This looks like it is just something made up, a script made up from the start to the end. But they did not calculate it in this manner that they're going to get caught. Or if they don't get caught even, that they will look bad. Because they got comfortable with themselves. You have to start by paying attention to the interviews. Look at how Emma was in her first interviews. Emma was really like, she wasn't focused. Absolutely not focused. She was like very edgy, very anxious. Watch all her interviews. She had scars on her face. Her hair color was Nicola's hair color lightness. Many things was going on strange with Emma. Go back to for every first interview and you will notice a pattern. But then 6-7 days later, Emma started turning more confident or comfortable. That is when she started saying things like, today I feel numb, I feel this, I feel that. You could see how confident she was. And I'll tell you why later I believe that she was so confident. Then you come to Paul. Paul's first interview. Paul has legendary interviews, honestly. When he was standing near the bench, what was it he saying? I have nothing else to say besides what my family has said yesterday. My main focus is my girls. That interview was a telltale sign. That one is where Paul gave it up. From the beginning, you could see that this man, with all the scars underneath his eyes, with everything going around the surface, it's like at the start you think, is actually somebody really missing here? Is this a Halloween prank? Is this a misunderstanding that Nicola's missing and maybe she just come up? But then when I started seeing how things started graduating, how the timeline was changed, how everything was changed, that's the time I understood that this is deeper than we think. This is bigger than we could ever imagine. I like the fact how some YouTube creators keep on talking about that this was a sacrifice. People have their rights to their own opinions. And I find everyone's opinion to be some kind of censor. I find it to be interesting, but I personally do not find this to be a sacrifice. Because even I've heard, the classic one I heard is from, obviously because you watch every YouTube creator and there are many that have definitely something to say about me, but I try to keep myself to the facts so that I don't sit and get into such kind of nonsense or be accused of releasing someone's medical records or being accused of sitting and having no shame and having no decency of recording Nicola's graveyard after the parents have asked media and everybody to butt out of their lives. Besides that, I found it strange. Last night I was falling asleep and I was watching some other channel, and then you know how these smart TVs are, these Samsung ones, like you watch and then it automatically goes to the next, to the next, to the next. So since I was watching about Nicola Bulley, it always comes, whether it's psychics, whatever it is, it'll all keep on repeating. It'll go to the next one and next one. And if I find it interesting, I stop And then I just write down if I'm going to sleep and I'm going to work next day. So obviously I can't concentrate. So what I do is I just write down the time that I saw that and I come back to it later on. So what I found very strange is all of a sudden, like while I was hearing interesting conversations about this case and all, and the news clips especially, I don't know, for some reason Penny Bunny came. And then I was thinking of forwarding it. Then I thought, no, actually just why not just listen to what maybe she has some new information of Nicola Bulley. And then it was yesterday basically this guy Martin was on. I'm not going to say good or bad about him because I don't know him. And I just think that if Martin has so much information, he should be giving it to law enforcement. That's how you know that something's not right when these people are all over YouTube and giving their information to Penny and Gisela K and Curtis. I didn't even mention AD because AD has his own things, but Armchair Detective wouldn't even do that. We know it's wrong not to interfere with the case that is active, and many other YouTube creators wouldn't do that. But Penny said that something about she believes Nicola being what was it? A spy agent. I wanted to laugh. I thought, don't change this. Let me listen to it, how far this will go. And then she explained her reasons. And I found it very interesting. And I really mean with no disrespect. When I have a problem or issue, I tell the person straight out. I don't go around the bull. And I've said that with Nicola's medical reports, Penny has never answered me back because she knows. She really messed up. She didn't come back to Nicola's case for 3 weeks after she released her medical records. I pay attention to everything around my surroundings. And that was the right thing for her to do, and she should take it easy on this case. Because Nicola has daughters. Nicola has parents. Nicola deserves respect on her name. And Penny ain't doing that. So I don't understand why people say that, oh, I got this information from this and this channel. Penny, if Nicola was a spy, let me tell you how it works. Or if she was a CIA agent, CID agent, or not even a CDI agent, if she was like the FBI now. Number one, they have their own way of eliminating people without you even knowing it. It wouldn't have been on the news. Do you think all this circus would have been on the news? Do you think Curtis would be running after Penny if this was a spy matter? No. I don't believe Nicola was a spy. She was into law enforcement. But I would more look at the part of Nicola was a witness. Definitely. A witness that she saw something, or that she was working on someone's case, possibly a family even. You never know. Maybe Paul, maybe she was testifying on someone, and maybe that person came out to jail. Or maybe somebody was trying to get to Paul. He has so many debts. His businesses was just going shallow down the drain. And Nicola was written in one of his businesses. So could it be possible that he got himself entangled in some kind of web that he couldn't get himself out of? And because of that, you know how it is. If your partner gets involved in something, you're going to even not get involved. You're going to be helping him out of the situation because that's your loved one. Or you're going to turn away and walk so that you don't get involved. But what I'm trying to say is I don't believe Nicola was a spy agent, because the spies do their things in their nice way, smooth, like a smooth operator. You wouldn't even know what hit you, Penny. So I think that is a bit too far-fetched. But Nicola, being a witness or something, I could possibly believe, because Nicola, the police were contacting Nicola about missing Derek. So maybe whoever read the Facebook message of the police asking Nicola for information about Derek, maybe allegedly Derek's killer saw that and didn't like that and thought This woman is giving information, she has to go. Let's not forget those areas, without being rude to Lancashire, it's a beautiful place, but there's a lot of drugs going on. There's a drug epidemic going on in Blackpool and Preston and all those areas there, in Lancashire. And then you see so many people missing, reported missing, and then within a couple of days, they're found in the river. Isn't that strange? So I don't know what is happening, but I believe it is drug related and money related, because senior superintendent Rebecca Smith shouldn't be even involved, in a way, when you look at it, because she works with big time drug cases. So why is she involved in a missing report, in a missing person? If it was a normal missing person, I don't think so many people would have been involved. So I wonder who is known to the police. Is Paul known to the police? And I really believe that this is no sacrifice and all that. I'll make it to you all easier. It is something that is so simple, I personally believe, that thousands of people go to, even this minute while I'm talking. Thousands are suffering of it. It is called domestic violence. I believe that is what happened, honestly. The reason I say that is what I see when I go to analyzing Paul's interviews. I could be wrong, but the impression I get from him is he's very manipulative. He's a narcissistic, and we've heard rumors about that. And if that is true, you can imagine the size of Paul and his height and everything, and the size of Nicola, allegedly. And if somebody thinks I'm crossing the line, I don't think I am, because pictures can't be hidden, and you see scars on both of them, allegedly. And that is not getting somebody's medical records and all. That is what I see, is what I talk about. What I don't see, I try to stay away from. But speculations will come in people's minds when we don't have enough evidence. It's more like proper speculations to lead you to a theory that makes more sense than what the police are telling us, that Nicola fell in the river. If Nicola fell in the river, her body would have floated up after 6 to 8 days. If Nicola fell in the river and slipped, there would be slip marks, there would be some kind of marks. If Nicola anyway slipped, she should have been found at the bottom of the river, not far from where she fell, allegedly. We have Paul saying that he came to the scene and he ran straight downstairs. He repeated that a couple of times towards the embankment, and he kept on saying, yeah, the harness was in the embankment, and somebody handed me Willow, and then they handed me Nicola's phone. Imagine I had Nicola's phone for a while, because he was in the other bench area for 20 minutes. Then he drove home. The police told him to drive home immediately. What do we know what he did with the phone? Although they can retrieve the data back, but we don't know. But that phone could have been so important that it went first to the police. That phone should not have been touched, because let's say if somebody else had the phone and not Nicola, just say if Emma or anyone else had the phone, anyone trying to act like Nicola or coloring their hair like Nicola and keep on coloring it, discoloring it, and putting makeup like there's no tomorrow, a person like that, his fingerprints could easily come out of the phone. So everything was messed up, and I believe that is what we need to pay attention to. That was all done deliberately. Deliberately. The phone was tampered with. It went from one hand to another hand, according to Ron. Yeah, obviously. He didn't say one hand to another, but you could hear from him. He said things started progressing. Penny called my wife. Penny called my wife. My wife called me. Then the school was called, and then Paul was called, and that was it. Then the police was called. So they had a long time sitting around the bench and planning what to do next, because that was a decoy. Why wasn't the police called quickly, immediately? The police were called at 10:50. They did not come before 10:20. I don't know why people are going around saying they came immediately. Why was the police call at 10:50? Why was the police call after Paul? Why was the police call after the primary school? I wonder who works in the primary school that is involved with this. Jill, is that you? Since you're one of the school, not school moms only, you're one of the leaders of the school moms branch or whatever you call it, government branch or whatever. And why do you look so anxious when you talk about Nicola and when you ask? Jill was just asked one question about Nicola. She said, Nicola was, she's lovely. Everyone is acting so weird. It's like they have to take a pause and think. They're actually making it seem like Nicola wasn't even real. And then you have this disgusting person called Curtis Media sitting near the grave and live streaming or recording. And saying, pretending like he's talking to Nicola. Nicola, what should we do? Give us a lead. Curtis and many other people here, people are leaking Nicola's medical records, are not here for the right reasons. Pay attention to that. And for the subscribers, people on YouTube who think that what's his name? Curtis is the one that brought us all the important information others we wouldn't have known about Penny, It's kind of true, but then those information was known by the police no matter what. They mentioned Penny. They mentioned all these people. The sad thing is, if we think that, Curtis is the one who brought us this and that, are we taking the respect from Nicky when he disrespected Nicola by recording a body? Are we going to forget that he's sitting there like he's the family? Even the family wouldn't sit and record from the bench to YouTube. I can imagine they would have recorded the gravesite and sent it to Nicola's brother, to her sister, to the aunties, uncles, and the family friends. But who gives him, Curtis, the permission to go sit there? I think that man really needs therapy. Seriously. I don't care if trolls come after me, that is the truth. It's disgusting behavior, and the whole wide world knows what Curtis did, recording Nicola's body. And then he has the audacity to come and try and explain himself why he recorded. I didn't record from there, I recorded from there. Haven't you learned manners? Leave the dead alone. Let them rest in peace. Nicola is not here to be your entertainment. The poor woman needs justice and her daughters need the truth. They're going to end up hating you, Curtis. Remember, those two beautiful girls will end up hating you because you're bringing them sorrow and trauma in their lives. They don't deserve that. Neither does the family. And another thing, it's not that I'm accusing, but yes, I'm asking this question straight out. Curtis Media, do you by any chance know Paul? And how well do you know Paul? Because I find it fishy that you met Paul near the post and you almost gave each other high fives. You said hello and he said hello back. And he let you record him without him not complaining? Red flag number one. He let you record his partner for 12 years, his deceased body being not handled well and taken out of the river, and Paul did not sue you? Red flag number two. How come you just bump into Paul? You did it on purpose. You knew it was the school runs. We all live in the UK. The sad thing is he's disrespecting. He's become used to disrespecting the police and all. What are you going to get by making enemies with the police? We just want the police to do their right homework and find out what happened to Nicola. We're not here to target the police because the police protect us when we need the protection. But you're making the people of Lancashire, St. Michael's life a misery and inskip. Let them live. They lost Nicola. Let them mourn. Let the daughters mourn. Because it's really sad. Penny, stop releasing medical records like you did and bringing the village of St. Michael's onto your panel. We just have 2 weeks left for this to be resolved. And guys, I wonder, why do you think it is 2 days and not 1 day? I heard rumors it's going to be 2 days, and if it's 2 days, maybe there's more than we expect. Unless they're going to give us some kind of BS for 2 days. Maybe, I thought to myself, maybe the first day, this is to tell me purposely, what could happen is the first day, Superintendent Sally Riley will speak. And she tell a bit about what she found in her first findings when she was called. Then I believe, honestly, Rebecca Smith will take over the conversation, explain how they came to that conclusion, and they will rule it out as an accident. Unless cuffs are coming. And I believe if arrests are coming, there won't be more than 2, 3. It'll be a bunch of people. And nowadays, YouTubers are involved. YouTube creators are involved. You have Gizly K working with Paul. You have Penny. Allegedly, rumors going around, she's working with Paul too. Don't know if it's true or false. I believe it's false. But she seems to be getting hold of Nicola's medical reports, so believe anything. Once you see someone up to dodgy business, never trust them. It's not like nobody could not get Nicola's medical reports. All the YouTubers could have got it, and all subscribers and viewers could have got it. But there's a line, there's a difference between us and Penny. Penny has no self-respect. Penny has no self-respect for herself. She has no self-respect for Nicola. May she rest in peace. She has no self-respect for Nicola's family, who are asked to mourn in privacy. Curtis has no self-respect recording Nicola's grave. What was it they used to say? The pot calling the kettle black. That's Penny yesterday saying, oh, that certain person, look, he's recording things in St. Michael's and he's been traumatizing the neighborhood. You've been traumatizing us by giving us some false report of Nicola's medical history. And even if it was true, you have no right breaching a deceased person is medical records. You and Curtis are no different than each other. You're sailing the same boat. It's like every time I say something once in a while about wrong, bad things like this, nasty things happening that have to be addressed, you think like, oh, thank God, it's done. Hopefully it's gone along. And then within a couple of weeks, it gets worse and worse. Are these people in some kind of competition to destroy Nicola's good name and reputation down? It's so sad. It's because they're here to get views, likes, subscribes, super chats. Why? On someone's behalf? Someone who's tragically lost their life? Who can't be here to defend themselves? This is sad. This is really sad, guys. I hope the inquest gives us more answers about what really happened to Nicola Bulley. And I hope our children are not watching all the social media. And that the family and Paul are keeping them away from there. But I still believe Paul and Curtis work together. It can't be just too much coincidence going on here. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.